What is up, guys, and welcome back to Bottled and Bond. I'm still messing around with everything and try to get everything situated, but I definitely wanted to bring this one to you guys as soon as possible. Today we're actually headed over to the Glenfiddich distillery once again. We're headed over to the Speyside region in Scotland. We're gonna head up the Glenfiddich 19-year age of discovery. Bam! So listen, this is ridiculous. It wasn't a gift. It was something I got myself, actually. So there's many reasons why I went ahead and picked this one up. The Glenfiddich Age of Discovery, they actually have 3 different variations of this. This one is their bourbon. So 19 years in ex-bourbon casks for this one. It is an 80-40, 80 proof. So they also made an Age of Discovery aged in red wine casks. Same thing, 19 years. And they also made one aged in Madeira casks. So this is the bourbon one. They went with this one kind of like as a tradition of the history of how back in the day, I want to say it's prior to, or right after 1803, they would transport barrels of whiskey and bourbon through Kentucky, through the Mississippi River, all the way to Louisiana, this, that, and the third, and just following those traditions of how bourbon came to be and exported and transferred all throughout the United States. And they went ahead and aged it. I don't know what distilleries bourbon casks, ex-bourbon casks they're using. If you do know, please let me know in the comments below. I have no freaking clue. But look at this box. This box is amazing. They'll give you a brief history. You can find it online. You can read it on here if you ever grab one. It is just immaculate. Beautiful design from Glenfiddich. Once again, this is a 19-year. I found this specific one at the MCX on base for $119. When I looked up the Virginia ABC price out in town, I found it for $175, $174. So I had to steal it. They only had 2. The last time I let a nice whiskey, what looks to be like a good whiskey and good reviews, passed me by, I passed up a $150 what was it, Wild Turkey Master's Keep, and I want to say 17-year, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I passed that up. And when I went back to pick it up, the gentleman at the store said, no, we had to return it. That was a mistake. We should have never had that on our shelves. When I did more research, came to find out Virginia ABC only has it on lottery. So I messed up. And when I saw this, I figured I'm not gonna mess up anymore. But yeah, unique design, nice bottle. Like I said, they made 3 different expressions. So I'm fairly eager to see what this brings. Let's open this baby up. Light notes. Actually, it smells like a bourbon. Believe it or not, right? But it does smell like a bourbon. Sweet notes, smoky, maybe a little musty, maybe some cherries, maybe. So I'll say this about the Glenfiddich 19. It doesn't have a superb nose. I am picking up a slight mustiness to it. It's very slight. It's not too overpowering, but I do pick up a little bit of honey and very citrusy, which is a good thing. I really enjoy the Glenmorangie single malt. And this one also picks up some of the citrus notes, which sometimes you pick up in bourbon, sometimes not. But the 19 years that this thing spent in those barrels, just, it seems like it seeped into a lot of those ex-bourbon casks, the charness, the smokiness, the woodiness, and they give it a pretty good note. Not a note that you come to expect from a 19-year-old, but at the same time, a lot of critics have said that the longer you age a whiskey, being bourbon, Scotch, Irish, in a barrel, sometimes, the majority of times, it robs it of some of its flavors, especially when considering peated whiskeys. Oh yeah, I'm picking up cherries, I'm picking up cinnamon, I'm picking up wood, char, smoke, I'm picking up citrus, I'm picking up honey. You pick up some pretty good notes. Once again, not something that I was expecting from a 19. I was probably expecting something more unique, but considering these are ex-bourbon casks, and it's 19 years. So maybe a Glenfiddich aged for a little bit less. Maybe the 14 is superb, coming in at 50 bucks. This one coming in at 120, maybe even 175 out in town. It's good on the nose. Let's try the Pallet. Cheers. Sweet honey forward, mid palate, you get that citrus smoke, and then towards the end, it's not much. Towards the end, I get a little maybe bready, maybe a banana, a pound cake, maybe a little pound cake towards the back end. But yeah, somewhat sweet, honey sweet towards the beginning, mid palate, citrusy, and you get a slight little kick of that smoke, and then towards the end, the finish, like I said, maybe like a little cake, pound cake style. Let's go again. Cheers. And you try to pick up, and you try to pick up, and you try and try, but it's always almost consistently a smoke, citrusy, maybe a dash of cherries here and there, slightly woody on the palate, honey, just got some honey towards the very, very back. I can't make out much of it. I'm gonna have one more sip and then we're gonna close it out and give you my final remarks. Cheers. Listen, this right here, in my opinion, is marketing. Glenfiddich, especially the 14 that I recently reviewed last week, Glenfiddich is great at what they do. Their IPA, amazing. Their 14, amazing. I'm pretty sure their 15 is immaculate. I want to say that their other 19 expressions, like I stated before, the Madeira and the red wine cask, maybe they hold so much more flavor because of the casks that were used. This one, this bourbon one, it's a good whiskey. I'm not trying to stray anybody away from it. It is a good whiskey. If somebody offers you a dram of this, take it, enjoy it, savor it, love it. But here on Bottom the Bond, we like to include prices. And for the original price of $173, $174 out in town, at least here in Virginia, I do not recommend this whiskey. I do not recommend you spend money unless you are a whiskey connoisseur, sommelier, call it how you want it, and you enjoy entertaining. You like having people over and you want them to see this and be like, what is that? And you want to show off your balls and say, you know what? You're damn right, but you ain't having any. No, share the dram, share the whiskey. Things come and go. This is a good whiskey, not even for 119, which is what I picked it up on base. What I recommend this. This tastes more like a $50, $60 whiskey. The 14-year expression of the Glenfiddich, the one that was aged in ex-bourbon casks and then new charred oak casks, it has so much more flavor, honey notes, honey heavy, and it's so much more delightful at 50 bucks. And this, as stated, even at 120, it's good to enjoy, but don't hold on to it for too long. Maybe if it matures, I'll let it sit for maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months and then revisit it. And then we'll go from there. I like what Glenfiddich is doing. I like the marketing. I like the box. It's great to display in your whiskey bar. Just not something I'm gonna recommend. Not saying anything against Glenfiddich, but this specific one, price maybe can go down just a little bit. I'm Ozzy. This is the Glenfiddich 19-year Age of Discovery from the Glenfiddich Distillery in Moray, Speyside, Scotland. And this is Bottled in Bond. Cheers.